Hello there.
General Kenobi! You are a bold one.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy, A Bold One, back with a brand new episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Today, what I'm going to be discussing is the topic of ships. Now, don't click out now. I promise this is going to be really good stuff. To kind of give you a roadmap. Actually, real quick, before I do that, I want to give you guys who have been watching, or at least watched my first episode, and subscribe. I just want to say big thanks. Thank you so much. If you guys haven't, for those who are new or just watching this one, be sure to check out my last episode, or I guess it was my first episode, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And it was over the future of the Old Republic in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So today, I'm going to be kind of doing the same thing, but not at the same time. So my first thing, kind of getting into my roadmap, I want to talk about two subjects. I want to talk about future ships that I can see within the game, coming probably pretty soon. I'd say by next December, and yes, I would call that soon. And then my second part of the video is when I talk about why ships matter and why they're very, very important. And I know people do not think they're important, but guys, I promise, they are. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I want to kind of discuss the very first, or excuse me, I want to talk about the future ships. Now, I'm only talking about the three eras. I want to talk about the Old Republic era, the Clone Wars era, and I'm going to briefly touch on the Galactic Civil War, and I'm not even going to touch with the sequels, just because, I mean, they pretty much have a ship for everything, and I just don't think there's really anything, because there's not another movie yet, and so I can't predict anything because there's no content to look over, as a trilogy. So, where do we go from here? So, first of all, we're going to talk about the future ships in Knights of the Old Republic. So first, I'm going to talk about some capital ships. So the first, there's three capital ships in the Old Republic series that I think we have a really, really good chance of seeing. Now, my first, my first ship that I think we will see is the Leviathan. Now, for all of you who played Knights of the Old Republic 1, you're all familiar with the ship. This is a ship that it's like the halfway mission, or it's the halfway through the game, and it's the real big mission until the ending, and then the ending's the real big mission. Now, the leader for this ship could either be one of two people. It could be Malik, which I think is pretty plausible, or Admiral Saul Kareth. Now, he died on the Leviathan in the movie, or excuse me, the game, and he actually was the admiral over that ship. So it's possible that we could see him, but if we see but it's either going to be one of those two. I don't think it's going to be anybody else. Next, it's the Ravager. And this is Darth Nihilus' ship. So everybody's familiar with Darth Nihilus, of course. If you're not, then you aren't paying attention enough, to this game. Darth Nihilus' ship in Knights of the Old Republic 2, it's called the Ravager, and it's basically a ship that is it's really broken down, and it's being sustained, I think, by the Force. It's through Darth Nihilus, and I don't think it's totally being kept up together by the Force, but I think it's a big part of it. And then I think we have a very high chance of seeing this. Either that or the Leviathan. I don't think dark side wise we're going to see something other than those two. And then next would be simply a Hammerhead Republic cruiser. There isn't I don't know who would be the the commander of this, it wouldn't be Revan or Bastila or anybody like that. It would have to be. There is a character from Knights of the Republic 1. You only see him during a few parts. Maybe you would see him, but I doubt they would just add that character just for that, unless they want to do something else with them. So as of right now, I think it's kind of unknown. Now, getting to the fighter class ships. I think we have definitely a good chance of seeing one of two things. One of those being the Ebon Hawk, which I think is, if you've played, either one or two, you're familiar with this. This is the main ship through both games that has passed through the hands of both Revan and Mitra Surik. And I have no doubt we'll see the Ebon Hawk whatsoever. I think the question is who's going to be the pilot. Definitely, I think Revan will be a part of it, but I don't think it'll be a sole ship. It's kind of like the Millennium Falcon. It's going to be a crew. So my guess is it's going to be Revan, Bastila, and T3M4. That's my guess. Now, I could be wrong. If they add someone like Atten or Karth Onasi, then definitely they'll be, because they're the pilots. But who knows, right? And then the next ship I think we could see is a Basilisk Wardroid. Now, we only see this like in one part of the game in Knights of the Republic 2, and it would simply be by Mandalore. Now, of course, he's not in the game yet, but fingers crossed, maybe we'll see him. Alright, now getting on to the Clone Wars ships. So first, kind of like I did last time, I'm going to go capital ships, and I only have one, or excuse me, I'm going to go capital ships and then fire classes. And I only have one capital ship, and I think it's going to be a Separatist cruiser, because we have a Republic one, it's by Mace Windu. And so, but the leader of this, I think, will either be General Grievous or Dooku. I suspect more it's going to be Dooku, because jumping into the fighter class, we have General Grievous' ship, and I think we're going to see General Grievous on that. And then the next two ships that I don't know why they're not here, but I think we'll see them, are Anakin and Obi-Wan's fighter ships that we see. We see especially in Episode 3, but you see it through all at the Clone Wars animated series if you watch that. And then Asajj Ventress' ship, and you won't know her ship unless you've watched the Clone Wars series. It's a neat little ship. I think it's very possible that we'll see that whenever they do a Clone Wars rework, which I think will probably happen, here soon. Fingers crossed. Now going into Galactic Civil War. Now, I don't have any idea of any capital ships right now. We just have Grand Moff Tarkin's ship, Thrawn's ship, and then we have Admiral Akbar's capital ship. And those are the only ones that we see right now. But trying to think of anybody that could be. Somebody speculated that maybe we'll see like a Jabba the Hutt ship, because there's all these bounty hunters, but I tried to look if there was any reference to a Hutt capital ship or anything of like the sort, and I couldn't find anything. The only thing I can maybe think of is that if you watch the Clone Wars series, there's a specific episode where Snips gets, I don't know how she ends up there, but she ends up on a ship or a planet that is targeted by Trandoshan bounty hunters. And basically there's this huge ship that gets that the bounty hunters hunt out of, I think they're just Trandoshan bounty hunters, but we don't see it's just one episode, so I highly doubt we're gonna see it, but who knows. So, and then I have two fighter classes. My two fighter classes I think we're gonna see, the first one makes a lot of sense with the bounty hunters. It's gonna be Han Solo and Chewbacca's Millennium Falcon. Now, obviously, it's going to be, you know, Han Solo, but the other person, I think it's going to be, my guess, that it would be a future Rebel Chewbacca. I don't think it's going to be the Clone Wars Chewbacca or Vandor Chewbacca or veteran Chewbacca. I think it's going to be a new one, and you know there is some speculation that but don't panic, farm, or anything just yet. But there is some speculation that it's possibly going to be what was I going to say? That it's possibly going to be for Jedi Luke. Excuse me, I don't know why I got tied up. For Jedi Luke, that's possibly coming out. Who knows when? There's a lot of speculation that you know, we're going to need a whole bunch of people, and they're including a Rebel Chewbacca, and you know, we'll see him possibly if that ends up happening. All right, now getting on to the more interesting part, just for me. And alrighty, guys. So here is, I'm not very good at math, but I'm going to keep it very, very basic for you all. Maybe you don't like math either. That's good. That's great if you don't. But just think of it like this: is here's in a simple equation. Here's why ships matter. Ships equal crystals and zetas. Everybody loves crystals and zetas. That's why you need to get a ship. Now here's why. So, just kind of peeking into my fleet arena, if you go to the prizes. Alright, so I'm not high enough yet. I'm pretty close, but not quite there yet to getting crystals. But if you look just in the top 5, or I mean if you want to do top 20, pretty high amount of crystals. You know, look at all these crystals that we're seeing right here, and as of right now, because ships is a neglected area, it's really easy to climb the bar. Once you just start investing in some good ships, which I'm actually going to do a future free-to-play guide for ships and regular ground troops, maybe is what you want to call it, ground fighting, I don't know. But yeah, it's really easy to climb. I'm just kind of stuck in a rut right now just because there's a few ships that I'm working on, and there's a few ships I haven't quite unlocked yet that kind of need me to get past that mark. I'm about at 215 right now. But anyways, look at all these crystals. And it's way easier to get there than it is in a regular arena. And then next, I saved this challenge. So every I can't remember all the days that these comes on, but this right here, the ship ability materials, is very important. And this capital Grand Moff Tarkin challenge. So just a quick FYI, to do Grand Moff Tarkin ships, you need dark side ships. So just keep that in mind. So going here, so if we look at the possible rewards, kind of, you know, there's not much there, a little bit there, but then when we get here, ooh, see that? That's the good stuff. And say I'm only on tier 3, which wasn't too hard to get after I did cruise Kylo Ren Unmasked. When I got his ship, it got me to complete that. So let's see, kind of just sim it here. I've already done it once today. Maybe we'll get a Zeta out of it. Well, no Zeta. Oh no, there it is. See, and I will show you guys my Zeta. So I've only had one character Zeta so far. Just because I'm picky. I had to, well, you know, before I had to slowly but surely just kind of wait throughout the months to get my Zetas, because you get like 2 a month, and you know, you get some through territory wars and territory battles. So I had to wait really, really, really patient. And the only person I've ever has Zetaed is Emperor Palpatine. Now, let's see, maybe I can show you guys. Let's look at Grand Admiral Thrawn. I have 42 Zetas. I have enough. Of course, I need some more of those, but I can Zeta 2 more characters. which I got just over the last. I think I unlocked Grand Moff Tarkin's challenge about at least a month or two ago, and I wouldn't say long, no longer than 2 months. I'd say a month and a half at most, and I already have 2 Zetas, and you guys know how scarce Zetas can be, and so I get it. Like, ships are not the most fun thing to farm, but if you keep that in mind, you'll realize that, hey, this is really important, and this will get me further in the end game, because that's what we're all shooting for, right? A lot of us new, or I'm not new, but the new players, obviously you guys aren't looking for Zetas quite yet, but once you get into that end game, the Zetas and Gear 12 is what really separates the men from the boys, if you want to, so to speak. That's how you, and obviously, I'm kind of suffering right now my arena rank, but who cares? Actually, I care a lot. But anyways, guys, well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Like, share, whatever you can do to help me get out there. I really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for my next episode. Thanks, guys.